the previews for the M. Night Shyamalan Trap.
Is it Afraid?
Yeah, so it's
Trap?
like Trap.
It's Trap. Okay, that's
so
the AI.
He's a serial killer. It's about a serial killer.
Oh yeah, that's they're at the concert.
Yes,
They're at the concert,
and
you don't. And she's like a Lady Gaga kind of.
Yeah, and
Taylor
someone
Swift.
in the crowd was like, "Yeah, so this is a trap." And
yeah.
he's like in there
And
with
it's
his
Josh
daughter.
Hartnett. Yeah, and then you automatically know because he's like. It's you. Well, M. Night's going to give you that little feel like it is him.
Yes.
But maybe that's the thing about M. Night, and I love M. Night. We talked about.
It's one of my mom's favorites.
Oh yeah, I love how he has this Stephen King type situation where every single movie is in like Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. I mean Pennsylvania. You know, so Stephen King usually wraps his world around Maine.
So, yeah. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, it looks great. I was trying to remember because there's another one, that trailer that I had seen. I saw that was I think it's called Afraid, and it's all about AI. It's all about AI.
Yes.
But I know that M. Night, his daughter just directed something.
Yeah, The Watchers.
So yeah.
But sorry, I got really excited about that because
great.
I literally saw me and my parents were getting dinner last night at like a bar tavern place, and they had on the TV like a preview popped up, and I was like, I gotta talk to Jeremy about this.
It looks wild. Well, welcome guys. How are you? We are Revival Horror Podcast. This is Creepy Connie,
and this is King Jeremy the Wicked.
Yeah. So episode 2 was completed, and we got great response. I can't wait to share episode 3 with you guys. I can't wait for us to share episode 3 with you guys.
Yes.
This is the Conjuring ending, and to pop off, like I like to say, the wildest thing happened. So in music or in recording, when you're in a studio, when you bounce a track, as they like to say, it converts to like MP3, MP4. Okay. So I can have I have about 19 layers to our podcast.
Oh, wow.
I can have many layers to a song.
Yeah.
But I really love throwing in the little sword sling and the putting delay on our voice. Sometimes the audio is a little too loud, so there's a voice pop, so I have to like make another audio track, put it up there, and then I lower it. So when we're finished, we don't have just one audio track. We have several. So when you bounce it, everything becomes one track and everything's solidified.
Okay.
So the reason I'm telling you this is 7 minutes in, there's a situation where, and it was like I want to say it was 704, which that's our area code, and that's also GOD, which is really weird. And all of a sudden, the audio track gets like pushed, so you can hear me kind of talking with an echo, or somebody behind me's talking, which is really weird, and that shouldn't happen after you bounce a track, because it was tight when I listened to the complete thing. Next scenario,
I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to that.
Well, it's wild because I can hear it when I'm listening with headers, but like in the car, you can hear it because I got it all the way cranked up and the windows down. But another thing is, and I couldn't wait to share this with you, and I'm glad I'm getting to share it with you live because you've been out of town. I'm talking about tourists, and I was like, "What are they called? Travelers? You know, the people that aren't, local." And you're like, "Tourists?" And I was like, "It was really silly." Then I was talking about doing this ghost hunt in New Orleans, and it just stops, and it's open air. There's no which we have a little bit of that because of just open air. Yeah. It literally just hard cuts, hard edit cut, and then it's silent for about 4 seconds. And then that's when I put a little delay on the voice and I go, "My gold chain was ripped off and it had a cross on it." So that whole story that I told about going in and seeing something in that jailhouse that is haunted, that's been on many shows, it's been on Ghost Adventures, most ghost hunting, paranormal, whatever. Usually when they're in New Orleans, they talk about this situation, this jail. But I was blown away that whole part was cut out. Mm-hmm. And the third thing which you said something about, and then it cut, and there's open air again. So
What
I'm
in
like,
the
I think we
world?
need to stop playing with these ghostesses.
We got some ghostesses.
I mean, it was just really weird because I listened to the entirety. I spent a lot of time editing and trying to get it like situated. I know that we're still working on the ums and the audio and whatnot. We're getting there. We're getting closer. But to have those three things happen, like I was almost disappointed.
Yeah.
Because once they're released, they're released. Like I can edit it and put it out there again, but I don't know how shout out to Buzzsprout for being our distributor. We really appreciate you guys. We have a listener from Buzzsprout. Her name's Rebecca, I believe. Priscilla. Elvis. It's Priscilla. She helped get the podcast out there. So shout out to Buzzsprout. And when I release it, they release it to all of the podcast networks and all of the stores, as they like to call it, or platforms. And it had those three imperfections, but I'm cool with it because
I'm okay
it's
with
like
it.
we had it was like a little delay, which cannot happen after it's bounced. Then we had the hard pause talking about the haunted jail, and then that moment you just say cut. You said cut, and it literally cut. So that was wild. That was wild. So we got another country. We've got 4 countries now that we're in.
Okay.
Well, we're in all countries once they listen, but we've got a listener in Toronto, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Maybe that's Priscilla or Princess or Rebecca or
Elvis.
Jelvis. Then we've got the UK, of course. Then we still got Aruba, and then we're in 40, I think 40 or 41 states. So we got some listeners. We got some
Look at
listeners.
us.
Got great feedback. I did have some bourbon and shouted out the podcast to like everyone on my Instagram feed, and I've got like my music page, the salon page.
Oh, wow.
Revival has a page, and shout it out, and we got great response with that. The only negative feedback is we got a Spotify review that says gay, and it was Lotus. And I'm like, kid. And Lotus is actually playing Hide the Corpse right now.
I love that
She's playing
Lotus
Hide the
put
Corpse.
gay.
She said gay. And she was like, read your Spotify review. And I was like, well, now I know it's you. She's like, well, read your Spotify review. Now I know it's you. I'm like, what in the world? But yeah, it's pretty funny. It's funny.
Oh my gosh.
So we are now going to dive into what's happening in the world of horror. So,
do it.
First off, last week I talked about the NCAA football game. I know it's not horror, but I rode the bench for the second season. So I purchased this game, and I'm riding the bench still because I can't impress my coach, and this is not even real. So, hard reset. Eat a 10 strip, hard reset. That's a new hashtag. But I do believe that there is
Riding the bench second season, and it's not even
riding
real.
the bench the
it's
second
not
season.
even real.
It's not even real. It's not even real. But there is a game out called Life Eater. Life Eater is on PC, and it's kind of a different, they call it a horror fantasy kidnapping simulator, which is a tongue twister in a sense. But you basically play this gentleman. His name is Ralph. He lives in suburbia, and he's got this ritual pack where he has to off one of his neighbors without getting found out. So I'm glad that's not on PlayStation because I'm not a PC gamer.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, and it's out by Strange Scaffold. I'm going to see if anyone has anything to say about it. Revival at a horror podcast at gmail.com. And if it does come out on PlayStation, I'll try it. I love the horror games. I love that Silent Hill 2 is being remastered, remixed, redone, and it should be available Halloween. Next up, we have a film not horror, but pretty flippin' spooky. It sealed the deal with me. I'm a DC fan. I know you're a Marvel fan, and I know we talked about this beautiful film. It's the trilogy, the third of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh my god!
It is so good. We saw it in 4D, so it snowed, it rained, our seat moved the whole time. Each time there was a gunfight, which there was thousands of bullets.
As per usual.
You get your
Deadpool.
you get your little air bursts.
Oh
So
my gosh!
And then when there's a knife fight or a broken whatever, you get these like little things pop in your back. So the whole time, you're almost like, it's almost like an exercise, like a 2-hour and 10-minute exercise, because your body's just moving. And then they have these little scenarios where like bugs are running on you, and then you get this little air tube that hits your ankles, and it's just so cool. But the smells, the lightning, your peripheral, the lights just kind of flicker, and that's so cool. So we saw Deadpool, Wolverine. It kicked my ass. It was so good. It was so raunchy and inappropriate, and I laughed.
Deadpool.
It's pretty Deadpool, right?
Yeah, Deadpool is, the first two are hilarious.
I haven't seen. I want to say I saw the first like maybe 15 minutes of the first one, but I never really got into it.
Oh
but
my
we're definitely going back in.
You gotta try. Give the first one, like, get into it a little bit. Get into it a little more.
I know they break the fourth wall like 200 times in the movie, so if you think it's
Ryan Reynolds does not care about that wall.
Oh, it's so good. I'm not going to say anything because I know you want to see it, but there's a part where there's someone's being a little flirtatious or not. He's just, the gay jokes. The gay jokes are so good. The gay jokes are so good. He's fighting someone, and then they'd say something or plead for their life, and then he's like, "You're not my type," and Blake wouldn't like this. Blake wouldn't like that. So I thought that was pretty cool that he mentioned his wife.
Oh my gosh!
And as far as horror movies, we have Oddity. Oddity is out in theaters. It is produced by Shudder, and it is a film by Irish filmmaker Damien McCarthy. He has this element of, it's weird. The premise is twin sisters, and they feed off of each other's vibe, even if they're miles, hundreds of miles away. And the sister senses something, is up. And the other sister, I guess the younger one, is at her house, and this strange man comes to her door and is like trying to get in. And he's like, "Trust me, someone's in the house. You need me to be in the house to get rid of this, whatever." And then, of course, this is just in the trailer. You realize that the sister's been brutally murdered. So if it's the gentleman at the door or whatever's in the house, and then it pans over the sister that's trying to find whoever did this to her sister. Their dead mummified father's at the end of the table, and he's like posted up, just like you said, Bathsheba, like a bug. He's posted up like he's the king of the castle, and it's in the theater. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's fantastic. And we're not that far away from Tillman Singer's film that's coming out soon with Hunter Schafer, Cuckoo. Have you seen the trailer for that?
I have not.
You know Hunter Schafer from Euphoria?
Yes.
Okay, I think she went to NC State. I think she's from Raleigh or something.
Oh, really?
But yes, she is gorgeous and a fantastic actress. I love her in Euphoria. So Cuckoo comes out soon. I'm looking forward to that. We didn't talk collections. I'm a collector, as you see with the Pops.
Yes.
I love Lego. I love anything and everything macabre.
Yes.
And there is a craftsman out named Kotobukiya. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. Kotobukiya, he has this really cool
figurine and statuette set of like the bad guys from horror movies.
He makes them into like anime cutesies.
Oh.
So we have Beetlejuice. We have Pennywise.
Oh my God.
We have Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Edward Scissorhands, Chucky. we have Leatherface. Actually, there's two versions of Leatherface, and we have Pinhead.
Can I see them?
I'll show you. They're the like
Oh my God.
the sculptures that are like $200-$300 that are always on the top shelf because they're in sexy positions, sexy poses, and they're basically they're not wearing much clothing. But he made these scary.
He made them out of all like horror movie.
Yeah, all the horror movie bad guys or all the horror movie scaries. I didn't I didn't see Nick Cage in any of them, but I don't know if I want to see a female version of it. Well, we did see the female version of Nick Cage. He portrayed his mother in Longlegs, like we talked about. So yeah, there we are. I guess is it time to start the final episode of The Conjuring?
I think it is.
I do believe so, guys. Here's The Conjuring.
Part 2.
Part 3.
Part 3.
Oh no, stress, Flatros.
I know how to count, I swear.
The count. One movie. That was a wild moment. Gosh, I mean, they're trying to find her in the walls, and she's trying to get through to them from the walls. Once they come to the realization that she's, believes she's safe, when she's downstairs and the body turns towards her as if it's like lunging towards her as a hanging body, she screams and takes off up the stairs, and that's when the necklace, the locket that Judy gave her,
it gets caught by unseen force.
And it's either the camera angle shows it hovering, or it almost looks as though it's like hanging sideways.
Yeah, like it's like a flag blowing in the wind.
Yeah, it's wild.
And
so she finally comes through.
But that locket, it has Judy's picture.
It's got Judy's picture, so that's kind of another foreshadowing to what's coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole, reiterate what you had said prior with, once she gets upstairs from the basement.
Oh, yeah. So Lorraine has seen this woman, is freaking out, and meanwhile, Ed and all of them are upstairs kind of banging in the walls trying to find her because she fell through an opening in the walls. And eventually she gets caught, the necklace gets caught, she's trying to run out of there, and it snaps. And now the ghosts have the necklace. And she runs upstairs and she looks at Carolyn and she screams. She possesses the mother to get to the children. That's what she's doing. She's feeding off her.
She's feeding off of her.
Pointing at Carolyn, and you just see Carolyn's face change completely. It's no longer
She's no longer her, yeah.
And that is where you fully see how, that she's fully possessed. That's when you fully realize that she's not there anymore.
Yeah, that is Bathsheba's mission to basically take Carolyn. As the crosses fall, like they all just start falling. I pinpointed it's Nancy's turn. Now Nancy gets a turn. So now Nancy is hair starts to rise with static.
Yeah, it literally looks like someone's got a balloon.
Yep. And then she's picked up and tossed towards Carolyn, which is wild because the only thing that kept her from really just like being thrown into Carolyn was that partition where I guess a door would be, or like a hallway, like the side frame. Mm-hmm. She hits that, smashes, and now she's being pulled by her hair in every single direction of every single character that's in there. So I think it goes from mom to dad to Ed. Everyone's trying to grab on to kind of keep her from being pulled. And who comes up with the greatest, conclusion of all, and it's Lorraine with a pair of shears. She gets that. She gets that haircut.
Yeah, she gets an unwanted haircut.
She gets an unwanted haircut. But everyone needs a haircut every little once in a while.
Oh yeah.
And that's when they kind of come to a scenario where they hear Bathsheba's growl throughout the house, and we kind of settle with that as Lorraine goes outside to the lake where the tree is to kind of take a deep breath. She sees Judy floating in the water, face up.
Yeah, what looks like Judy.
And it's a really horrific tale because we just came off of this whole entity takeover
That
with
attacks
almost every
mothers.
single one that attacks mothers. So now
Get to children.
Bathsheba has Carolyn. It's like, now, you know what, we're going to take a little trip.
Yeah, like, you're trying to get rid of me. You're trying to mess with me. I'm going to mess with you.
Well, I'm messing with you.
And now Lorraine freaks out because she sees Judy in the water. She runs back up to the house and immediately calls her mother, who's watching.
And isn't listening. She's like, just let me know.
She's like, just go check on her. I don't care. Just go check on her.
And she has that intuition, which a mother would always, but it's even beyond that. Because of what she saw, and knowing that this isn't the real deal. This is the demonic scenario.
And that is just terrifying.
So now, who gets the bedside tug? Our next that. I did it again. This is my old notes.
So funny. I remember in my notes I had something written like, now she's possessed. Womp womp.
Yeah. Now she's possessed. Womp womp. Bedside tug. So Judy is asleep in the bed in her room. We're now at the Warrens' house, and Judy is awakened with a foot tug. So that's the fourth one. The first to Judy. And she is awake.
Bathsheba loves grabbing some feet.
I mean, that's not a foot fetish. I guess it would be like don't touch the hands, because we don't know where they've been. So Judy now is kind of in a dream state, and she wakes trying to kind of find mommy and daddy, thinking that they're here, because lesson learned, mom and daddy are never at home. It's always grandma. Grandma's always upstairs with her cough medicine, just sipping away, passing out. But we then see Judy kind of go throughout the home looking for mommy and daddy, and what do we see? The occult museum, the door's open.
And it's just calling her in there.
Calling her in.
Like, come on, Judy, join us.
Calling her in. So Judy realizes Annabelle's missing, and now she's kind of going through the house. Now you get these, like, I like to call them 808 bass notes. Like, it's just like so heavy and so just frightening.
It's like
just
that last note on the piano.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Judy is then running through the house again. No Nana. Grandma. Where's Grandma?
Grandma's asleep.
She's asleep.
Is getting her beauty rest.
She got her CPAP on. She got her drink on. And then we have Judy running into a room that now she's locked herself in, and
I believe it's her room.
Is it her room? Oh yeah, it does, because that's the room that when she has the little dress and she's being rocked into getting her hair. Yes, I didn't know that, because I know there's like 18 rooms in this house. But yeah, that's her room.
Can't understand the layout.
Yes.
Of the household.
So in Judy's room, she shuts the door. She hears these knocks. And then as she turns and realizes there's something else in the room, and there's in the rocking chair.
Yeah, doesn't it like pans to the rocking chair?
Pans to the rocking chair. Ooh, sound effects. Yes, it is a lady holding Annabelle, combing her hair, brushing her hair.
Yeah, which is also because I believe that happens in the Annabelle movies as well.
Wow.
There's a point where someone is rocking with Annabelle in the chair. So Annabelle loves a rocking chair.
And her hair getting combed or brushed.
At least something looks good on her.
Yeah, true. A baby doll with stamps. So when Judy turns and sees the female brushing Annabelle's hair, we then see Annabelle slowly turning towards.
And it's just Annabelle's head.
And it's just Annabelle's head.
Which is
just Annabelle's head. So frightening.
And you're getting the death stare from those creepy blue Annabelle eyes with the one with the scar in it. Oh my God.
Just that look. And Judy then turns and screams, trying to get out. Now the door's locked on her. She turns, the rocking chair is now by itself rocking. So no, as we figured out, it's Bathsheba combing, brushing Annabelle's hair. And now the rocking chair is rocking by itself. And as it rocks, it slowly turns toward. It slowly turns toward Judy. And of course, the Warrens arrive, and Lorraine feels that darkness. She knows.
She's sprinting.
They are rushing inside. Nana is now trying to get the door open. She's awoken, and inside the room, the chair, again empty, turns, and that split second before Ed gets the door open, the chair lunges at Judy and hits the panel right where she was standing, and I've never seen a rocking chair tear into splinters.
Yeah,
like there was
shattered, unrepairable. And this is exactly when the Perrin family takes refuge at a motel. But Carolyn is possessed and takes Christine and April back to the house.
Back to the house.
And that's when they call Ed and Lorraine are like, they've taken Christine and April back to the house.
Yes.
Like, come on, we gotta go. Like, help, please.
Okay. Yeah. So they're back. So they go to the house, and when they're trying to leave with her, like the house won't let her leave, right?
Yeah. So they find her with a knife at Christine's throat, and they get her off of Christine. And so Christine runs outside. The intern guy is kind of consoling her, getting her in the car,
getting her in the car outside.
And Ed and Roger are grabbing Carolyn.
Yep.
And they're trying to get her through the doorway, and she's burning. The moon is burning her. Yeah, basically the moon is burning her. She can't get past the door frame. Mm-hmm. And so they leave her in there, and they still can't find April.
Yeah, no one knows where April is. Now the intern is looking for April. Yeah,
they're rummaging through the house trying to find April. They can't do that. And so this is when we get to the exorcism, really. So they bring her, and all of a sudden she gets ripped back and thrown and dragged towards the cellar. And
she drifts sideways.
Yeah, she was completely sideways on her side, and at a weird angle, and basically like does a whole full 360. Mm-hmm. And she's grabbing onto the cellar door frame, and she just screams, Roger!
That last little bit
of Carolyn. And so we know that she's in there. We know that she's fighting. And that kind of puts Roger into full husband mode. Yep. He's like, go, 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 go.
Let's do this.
And so they run downstairs. They somehow get her. And I believe it's because they get the sheet.
The sheet over her is something James Wan said he had to do for so many specifics. Yeah. But yeah, so covering her with the sheet just adds this whole element of, underlining horror, because you don't need to see the unknown is still.
The unknown in this movie is what is supposed to be scary.
It's the best part. Yeah, she's placed in a chair and handcuffed by.
Yeah, and don't they tie like a rope around her body, and she's covered in this sheet, which kind of made it easier for them to kind of like get her around.
And she's making all types of noises.
Oh yeah, she is not sounding good.
The forcing her in the chair and handcuffing is when she bites the sheriff, the deputy, and that's a big old chunk.
Yeah.
He got a big old chunk.
Gush.
Yeah, it was.
She was gush.
You got a little snack.
You got a little
snack. And they have the possessed Carolyn in the sheets, force her in the chair, and that is when you see Christine outside screaming, and now the bird kamikazes come. The bird kamikazes come back.
She's chilling in the car, scared half to death, alone, and is like, okay, I'm in the car, I'm safe, like, we're fine. And all of a sudden, this bird smashes through the window. And then it pans to the intern in the house, and they're starting to come in through the house. And I love the way they did this, transitioning from Christine into the house and then back into the basement.
Yeah.
Because a bird comes crashing in through the basement window.
Yeah.
And Ed's in there speaking Latin.
Yep. He's doing the exorcism.
He's doing his thing. He's like, we got to get this going. We have to do this now. We have no other choice if we want to save her.
The flip shot, like I had written down, is when he tells her to go get the Bible.
Yes.
And then, it has that shot where Lorraine is walking out and it shows her walking towards, the door, and that camera flips like 180. Now she's upside down.
And she's upside down outside.
Outside.
And she comes back inside and it slowly
flips back.
Yeah, it just follows and flips.
It's just so cool. Something that probably didn't need to happen, but it happened, and it's something.
It's a gorgeous shot. It's
so
a gorgeous
iconic.
shot.
So good. Ed throws the holy water on, and she screams, and I mean the noises, the
ungodly noises.
You can't even explain it. There's no
other way to explain it except for ungodly.
Ungodly, and then you get a little bit of silence, and then the blood puke, and then as the sheet fills up,
falls down.
True.
Right? Sure. So Carolyn's head drops after she vomits all this blood, and that's when things start really taking shape in the house. And that starts basically like an earthquake is happening.
Basically, yeah.
And then that chair floats, right?
You get a head pop, and then you get the little side spin, and now she's on the ceiling.
Yes, she flips up, the chair flips upside down, and she's on the roof. And then, bam, crashes to the floor. The chair shatters on her back.
Yep.
And now she's loose.
Yep, she's loose. Now, when it showed her face through the bloody sheets, you no longer saw Carolyn. You saw Bathsheba. And that was frightening in itself, because you really had to look, because was it Lily, the actress, with the makeup, or was it the actress that played Bathsheba? It's just really frightening.
And yeah, it looks like Bathsheba. I think it was the actress that played Bathsheba.
Definitely.
Because there was no ounce of Carolyn in that.
Not at all.
It was truly scary. And the fact that you could only see like her eye, barely her nose, and that was it. Her mouth was not really there.
Yeah, that was
just
incredible.
Bloody and ugh.
That was incredible. So we now have Ed dodging furniture as the chair, explodes when she's dropped.
Everything starts going crazy, and they're trying to get her back. And they don't. And then the intern finds April. And he's like, I found April. She's under the floor, under the dining room. And then it pans to Carolyn, and she scurries like a rodent. It literally scurries like a rat.
That look she gives, like meat. Like, this is my next meal.
Yes. She looked like animal in the wild found her next prey.
Wow.
And she scurries like hunched over, scurries under the house to go and find her.
So good.
And Lorraine runs upstairs. They try to follow her. They are doing everything that they can to stop her from getting to April, because April's the youngest, and that's what she wants.
And she finally gets to her, and you have every character, with their arms or legs or heads coming out of
between all the framing and all the stuff that you find under the house.
It's so good.
And then Lorraine comes down from the top, and they're all telling her, like heaven. And they're trying to tell her, she's telling all of them, keep getting her to fight, like call out to her, get her to remember. And she touches Carolyn's forehead, and she's like, remember that day, remember what you told me about that day on the beach. This is your family, this is who they are, this is like who you love. And it kind of just...
You said they mean the world to you. When she says that...
You said they mean the world to you. You
kind of get that shiver.
Yes. And you kind of get this weird open mouth sob.
It's an ugly scene. It's an ugly scene. It's just the unattractive. At this moment, just
she should be.
Right, of course. Well, she's the demon's leaving her.
Yes, and her face is slowly getting more color in it, kind of thing.
It's like that cry before no noise comes out.
Yes, like her mouth is
a
gape, wide open, like she's like a dentist is getting there. And she's looking up at basically Lorraine, and there's light starting to come into her face, and you just, I think Roger gets April up onto the side of the house underneath all of that.
She says, "Mommy."
And she says, "Mommy?"
Yeah.
And she kind of just looks, and you can see that it's Carolyn, and she's like crying, and she's like looking at her daughter. She's like traumatized because she did this to her. You can see all of those type of emotions running through her face. Like, oh my God, what have I done?
It's crazy she remembered it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times during possession, you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she's like, what
I'm
have
so
I
sorry.
done?
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I can't believe it.
It's
yeah.
wild.
The amount of guilt that Carolyn must have for doing this to Christine and April, like, I mean, it's not her fault.
Right.
But knowing me, I would have so much guilt.
Oh, yeah.
I would never be able to forgive myself for doing that to my kids.
You can't. And hopefully they can forgive.
And I think you can see the way that April is looking at her mom that she forgets.
She finally sees. Yeah.
She's like, that wasn't mommy. That was not mommy.
Well, I know with her being the youngest and, you know, having the imaginary friend, I know that he's kind of said, this lady's not nice. This lady's not nice. You know, Bathsheba convinced my mother to kill me, you know,
Yeah.
so
like it's,
so maybe
it's like
that's
maybe
just like
Rory is kind of there like, this isn't your mom.
Right. This is
like this is your mom.
This is your mom.
This isn't your
This is
mom.
not. So good. What a fantastic film.
It truly
What a fantastic
was.
film.
It truly was.
I definitely.
One of the first horror movies that really got me into horror.
Oh yeah.
One of the biggest bonding moments with my dad is starting to watch horror movies, and this was one of them.
That's great.
This was one of the first ones that wasn't like the Gremlins or Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Or It, the original.
Yes.
Made for TV.
Yeah, literally. Or Tales of the Crypt, the TV show.
Right.
And so I just truly love this movie. Always have.
Good. You know, we've got a thing here where we say, you know, did it fill the void? Did it fill, you know, any and every expectation beyond expectation? And we do this. We say 2 claps. Convince my 2 claps.
It deserves 2 claps.
It definitely deserves 2 claps.
Now, real question is, how many hamburgers is it getting?
So yeah, we've got, you know, the premise, you know, the acting, the directing, the cinematography, the music, the jump scares, the unknown, the elements of unknown, the gore, the blood, the scenes, you know, what captures a film to me is just to take over all of my senses. And what really takes over all of my senses is a tasty hamburger.
I agree. Cold-hearted.
So if it has, you know, a light element of cinematography and maybe 1 good song, you get 2 hamburgers.
You get like 2 hamburgers.
But this one definitely took the cake.
Yeah.
And it got 10 hamburgers.
It's in my top 10. It deserves 10 hamburgers.
Extra chili, extra salt, a little bit of tomato, extra mayonnaise, 10 hamburgers.
I'm more of a burger with some like bacon onion jam.
Nice.
And a nice over easy egg on top where the yolk gets all messy and you just, our hands are completely dirty.
6 napkins per bite.
Yes, with some bacon on top too.
Nice.
Bacon.
A little bougie. We got a little bougie Gen Z in here.
Ooh.
Love it. Yeah, so definitely 10 hamburgers all the way. We got this. It's so good.
Messy old hamburger.
Nasty messies. So yeah, definitely one of my top 10.
I'm not 100% where.
No, same. But we'll get to that.
It's not like super creepy. It's kind of like
It's super creepy.
It's
super
creepy. It's creepy, but he did it to like on purpose to scare them. Right. Okay. So my grandfather, he was in the Navy, New York State Trooper, captain, huge dude. Yeah. And my mom and her sister, when they were little, instead of having, you know, the tooth fairy when their teeth fell out.
Which the tooth fairy is real.
Yes.
Listeners under 7.
Yes.
Don't watch the movie.
No.
If you're 8 months to 7 months years old,
Months, years old.
don't listen to this podcast.
Ages 13 and up.
If you're 13 plus, 13 to 99. Go ahead. Sorry, I
No,
interrupt.
you're good.
If you shit yourself, don't. If you're ages 7 and below, if you shit yourself. Ages 17 and up, if you shit yourself, don't listen to this podcast.
It's a lot of shitting.
I wear a diaper when I do the podcast just in case.
Oh, you're lying.
You want to see?
No.
No. How long have you been with her? How long have you been with her? Do you know that meme?
No.
I'll show you later.
Oh my god.
How long have you been with her? All right, I'm turning my mic off. I won't interrupt. Creepy Connie.
So my grandfather would, take the teeth from under the pillow and leave.
Okay, so your mom and her sister.
When they would lose their teeth,
Okay,
you
yes.
put them under the pillow.
Okay.
So they would lose their teeth. My grandfather would come into the room to get the teeth from under the pillow, and instead of leaving money, as per usual, as the tooth fairy does, he would leave little poems.
Oh.
And they weren't like sweet or like, thank you for the tooth. It was, I'm gonna make these teeth and use them turn them into doll teeth, and I'm gonna just make necklaces and jewelry and keep your teeth with me at all times.
Jeez.
But they were poetic. I wish I had a picture and like an actual one to say if I find one.
Oh, you said
we have some of
them.
We have
Oh
some
my
of
God.
them. So I'm going to call my mom and get her to send me a picture of one. But he was always writing poems, like goofy, silly poems.
I love that.
And so he did these and made them creepy. And my mom and Aunt Patty were scared of the tooth gremlin.
Cool.
And so they would hate when they would lose their teeth because they were like, there's like a little green monster coming into my, like literally a gremlin after like the green ones.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The green ones. The gremlins.
The bad ones.
Not the Mogwai. The
No,
gremlin.
yeah.
The
The
gremlin.
gremlin.
The gremlin.
Yeah,
God,
like
could you
my mom
imagine?
literally was like, I thought a gremlin was coming into our room, taking the teeth from your aunt and I's pillow and putting them into dolls, making necklaces out of them, like, and they would go to school and be like, so yeah, their friends would be like, so how much money did you get from the tooth fairy? What? What fairy?
Fairy.
My fairy's got some things going on. And so that is my little story.
Oh my God,
for
that's
the day.
horrifying because I'm thinking Glinda the Good Witch. You know, I'm like pulling my teeth out because it was $1 or, it was $1, I think. And
Yeah.
now when Lotus was losing her teeth, people in the neighborhood, they would give their kids $20. And I'm like, you need to stop doing that because it's gotta be like, we gotta have this like regimen. It has to be like,
I'm not giving my kid $20 for losing a tooth.
Like lost 2 teeth, like kids are in the back like pulling their teeth out.
Yeah, no.
wild.
I got most I ever got was $5,
Okay.
and that's because I had 2 teeth under there.
Oh, all right, $2.50 a pop. A roll of quarters.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if
wild.
my dad did do that. Just put a roll of quarters underneath
No,
there.
it was a tooth fairy.
Ooh, tooth fairy,
It was a
tooth fairy, tooth gremlin,
Wow,
tooth
that's
gremlin.
so scary because it's like, all
But
right.
he always does things like that. So he loves. So when I was little as well, I don't know why he created this thing, but there was a thing in my life called the cheese fairy.
What do you think? The moon's made out of green cheese?
Yes. It's the
Conjuring
cheese.
2.
The cheese fairy lives on it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So he created the cheese
This
fairy.
is your dad?
No, my
This is
grandfather.
Grandpa.
This is the same one
Grandpa.
with the gremlin notes.
What's his
for
name?
the teeth. His name is
Captain-
Billy.
Captain Billy.
Bill. William, but we all call him Billy.
Billy.
Sir. And
Sir.
yeah, Sir Billy.
Sir Billy. Billy, sir. Blister. Captain
And-
Blister.
Oh my god. But yeah, so he created the cheese fairy, and so the cheese fairy, like on my birthday, would bring me a birthday present, and it would imagine
Cheesy teeth.
It would be like he would got me a bike, and it came in a box, and it said from Cheese Fairy to Bella.
Wow.
And that would be my birthday present.
I love it.
And yeah, I don't know why it was
Fairy.
cheese.
I love that creativity.
Yeah, he was always creating funny stuff like that. He was also obsessed with. There was 2 movies that we watched together, Shrek. And before I could even crawl, I had a 3-foot tall stuffed Shrek doll that I like crawled around with.
Wow.
And then when How to Train Your Dragon came out.
Oh yeah.
So those 2 movies were his favorite.
Oh,
He
that's
loved them.
awesome.
He thought they were goofy.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
So there's an artist that's so brilliant, beautiful, and I love how we can like talk about your family and whatnot.
We've got some crazy. We've got some crazy
listen,
stuff.
They're like, oh, we knew you had it in you, Bella.
Oh yeah, we've got some crazy stuff in our family. Some funny stuff.
That's awesome.
I know being a babe a few years ago, most vampires don't tell their age, but I would like to say in 1812.
Okay, Dracula.
When I was little, when I was a teenager. My favorite was I love the Incredible Hulk, and I know he's part of the Marvel Universe, but I love the Incredible Hulk when it was like the old 70s, 80s TV show. Like I've got the whole collection on Blu-ray, and I haven't opened it, and I don't know when I'm going to because that show meant the world to me as Bill Bixby, and the Incredible Hulk was my jam. So for me to have a Green Man in my life. When I was crawling on all fours.
My Green Man was Shrek.
Your Green Man
My
was
Green
Shrek.
Man was an ogre.
Yep, and Ethan, his Green Man was the Grinch. So
Oh my
I
God.
remember
Yes.
one.
Okay, Jim Carrey Grinch.
Oh no, yeah. Well, that was his first movie.
Okay.
So when not Hallmark. What is it? What's that store? Kohl's. So Kohl's, I think they still do this. You buy a book, or you buy a book and donate it. You get a stuffed animal or something like that. Yeah. So that year that he was born,
They just
he was
got
born
Kohl's
in
Cash now.
Kohl's Cash, yeah, or and Amazon takebacks. The every year there was like this basket of plushies, and it was always themed. So it would be Charlie Brown, or it would be, I was going to say Snoopy. It would be Charlie Brown, or it'd be like a Golden Book, or it'd be the reindeer, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it'd be like from the shows, or the cartoons. But one year they had the Grinch. So I got a Grinch for my dad. Actually, I got a Grinch for my dad, and everyone got an individual character that reminded me of them. And then he brought it to where Ethan was born, to the hospital, and he gave it to Ethan. And Ethan was like maybe 8 when he stopped with this thing.
Oh wow!
And I mean,
it was like
lost
his
its hat.
stuffed animal.
That was his thing. He called it the Drench. Drench. But we did. His first movie was Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
That's awesome.
And the Pretty Reckless, the band, the lead singer Taylor Momsen, she played Cindy Lou Who.
Yes.
And
I love her.
Yeah,
Trust
love
me.
her.
I love her. Love the band.
It was just her birthday. Happy birthday, Taylor.
Happy birthday.
When that first album came out, they were at Warped Tour, and Ethan was probably 11, 10. And we have to see the Pretty Reckless. We get there, they're on the main stage, and they just went on. So we're racing to the stage. We get to the front. Here comes Taylor. She comes out. She's got on like platform stripper heels that have tip slots. Like TIPS tips slots.
My
and
gosh.
she's wearing a long oversized, or not oversized, but a very long t-shirt, black t-shirt, and no pants. And I'm standing here with my 11-year-old, and we're like right underneath the stage, and I'm like,
this kid.
This
little boy.
He's in heaven.
Oh my God.
He's in heaven. So yeah, love the Pretty Reckless, love the Grinch, and then Lotus. She was really I was really into Yo Gabba Gabba. So she had Broby, the little guy. Are you familiar with Yo Gabba? I mean, I know that was more That was your teenager,
I babysat a lot.
Okay, yeah.
I know
So,
what
yeah.
I love Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yo Gabba was so good.
My favorite
so
was
good.
like there's the green guy and he has
Broby.
a song. Yeah, so he has a song
There's a
about
party in my tummy. So yummy.
That-
so yummy.
yes.
Carrots. You carrots. I don't like carrots.
Exactly.
Green beans, but they're good for you. Are they? Green beans, yeah. So yummy.
Oh my
so yummy.
gosh.
Carrots, yeah.
And then they're like they're in their
They're
tummy,
in, like, in his tummy going.
their little beatbox.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. So Lotus was 3 months old.
Oh my gosh.
What are we doing? Lotus
What are
is
we
3 months
doing?
old. I had front row tickets, so Ethan got to see Taylor Momsen's panties, and then Lotus is 3 months old, and Yo Gabba Gabba came to Charlotte. There was one seat available on the front row, so she sat on my lap. I have the picture. I'll show you later.
Aw.
She sat on my lap. Right when they come out, all the kids are like 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10, with their parents, and here I've got this she looked. The picture, she doesn't look 3 months old.
Yeah.
But she was 3 months old. So it was in February. We're front row. First thing DJ Lance does when he comes out, he's introducing, himself, and Yo Gabby comes over to me and reaches out and high fives me. Like he wanted the high five. Like it was really
Yes.
cool because I've got this
Little
just born
baby.
little baby, still umbilical cord and everything else.
Still has the umbilical cord.
Umbilical cord. And we had VIP passes for backstage afterwards. So here I am, and it's February, so it's cold out. So I've got all the layers on. Lotus got all the layers on. She's got a little cap. I got my little cap. We're kind of matching, and the show ends, and it was the most amazing show because again, I love the show, and there they are. They're all live right in front of us. Broby, Muno, Tootie, Plex, the robot, and I get to about the second next person that gets to go in to meet the characters and get photos and whatnot, and the little usher guy goes, your baby's asleep, and I was like, oh well, let me wake her up, because we're about to meet, and I couldn't get her. She was just
She was
snoring
out.
almost. She was out.
Oh my
so I was
God.
like, all right, and then over the loud intercom they said, it's snowing. So I look outside and it's like downpour, but they were calling for something, but not like a blizzard. So I was like, all right, what do I do? Am I the parent that goes in and takes pictures with a sleeping baby with these 9 foot tall, Yo Gabba Gabbas? DJ Lance has already high fived me. We got all the merch. What do I do? Do I go? Did I just leave Lotus? Right? Do I put Lotus in the car and go back and party with Broby? And I was like, yeah, I've got a long ride home. This isn't good because I was already in trouble for not inviting someone else, and Ethan still to this day. No, I'm kidding.
Ethan still to this day brings up, you didn't bring me to Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yo Gabba Gabba. Well, yeah. Well, you were 20.
Oh,
He was 13. He was 13 in gaming.
a little old for Yo Gabba Gabba.
I mean, no one's. Oh, but guess what? Apple purchased the rights, and they're bringing it back.
Oh, wow.
They're bringing it back. I mean,
Oh.
I remember Biz Marquis was a music guest. I remember MCR. They had like a holiday song
Oh my
on there.
gosh.
Love My Chemical Romance. So Yo Gabba Gabba is coming back. Apple purchased the rights, and they're going to be making new episodes. So I'm so excited for that. So to end, I have a ghost hunting story for
Let's
you.
hear it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So we work at a beautiful restaurant called Haberdish, and we work with some very, very amazing chefs and some amazing souls. And they had heard that I ghost hunt. So a few of the chefs and a few of the bartenders and a server was like, hey, we want to do this. And this is
Yeah.
like right when you started. So I
Yeah.
think you got the grunt of the end of the story of
Yeah.
what happened in this scenario. So we went into this abandoned house and had permission. And as we're walking around, we're all fresh faces because I've just
started working
working
together.
there. Yes, just started working together, and everyone's just so interested. There's no negative. There's no
That's
negative
great.
in the air.
That's what you
Everyone's,
need. That's what you need.
Everyone's like, I want to believe. I want to believe. Or, oh, hell yeah, I believe. Or, I don't really believe in aliens, but I believe in ghosts. Or I really don't believe in ghosts, but I believe in aliens. So I'm like, all right, we're going to do this. And I'm going to prove to you. I don't need to prove to you, but I'm going to prove to you.
But yeah.
So I have an S box from Ghost Stop. Shout out to Ghost Stop. My S box is on. And I say the ever so lovely words, are there any spirits here? And we get... Yes.
Ooh.
Right off the bat.
Immediate response.
Right off the bat.
They are eager.
Yeah. And this
Ready to go.
particular place is haunted. It's off North Davidson. I'm not going to give exact coordinates, but I know this place is haunted, and I can feel it.
Yeah.
So
There's an energy.
So, but I'll have to back up. I am a little disappointed that one of our favorites there, Nicholas, he's going to be on the podcast later on this month or next month. Yeah, it's August 2nd now.
I'm going to force him.
Yeah, he's excited. He's the coolest kid.
He has no choice. He has no choice.
He's the coolest. He's cool. He gives me so much hell.
He's
And
like my brother at work. We bully each other. We bully each other.
Well, that's it. Well, it's funny. It's like a teenage thing or even a grade school thing where you go up beside someone and you tap them on the opposite shoulder, and when they turn, you think it's a gas, and it's like, yeah, I'm 1,047 years old. This is still funny to me.
It really is.
And when they get you, they're like, gotcha, and it's like, what are you, 12? But no, it's 112.
Oh no, we'll pretend to be mad at each other. I'll go into the service station. I'll be like, get on my way, you bitch.
No one likes you, Nicholas.
Oh my god! But he'll call me out and he'll do the same thing.
It's so good. So yeah, he's like, did you hear about your Google review? And I'm like, no. He's like, it was bad. You got 1 star. They said the guy that likes to draw on his face, and I'm like, really? And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so he was supposed to be with us, but he's not with us. So he's not with us anymore. They will never find his body. They will never find his body. Find Nicholas. So, but there's a half dozen of us downstairs, and we're all hanging out. Sean Wayne Gacy, who he left for school, he's not going to be with us anymore. But my buddy Sean, he is taking photos, so I have a really cool photo of all of us, really. And so we're down there, and we got the response, yes. And I said, the equipment that we're using, does it bother you? Because there's cameras, there's people on their phones, we got music playing. Xander's with us, handsome ass Xander's with us, and he's playing some cool tunes, and we didn't get a response. I'm like, all right. So again, second question: the equipment that I'm using, does it bother you? Nothing. All right. So then we kind of wander over to this area, and we're in a 12-foot high basement, so we don't have to duck. We're in the basement.
It's
large. We go to like the northeast side of the basement, and there's this wall. There's this window.
Ooh.
Why is there a window 10 feet underground in this basement?
What is it?
It's like a window that's been boarded up, and it's got this weird, almost like stained glass scenario. I'll show you the picture that Sean Wayne Gacy took, and
weird.
And then there was like a note that was in crayon, and it said something about not having any luck or something like that.
In crayon?
No, in crayon. And we see it in there.
Type stuff.
So yeah, and I was like, this is cool. This is cool. There were cameras down there, but they're faux cameras just to keep the crackheads and the lovers out.
Lovers?
But we knew the lovers. We knew that those cameras were fake because we had permission. So anyway,
yeah.
I get a text, and guess who it is? Nicholas.
Oh God, what did he
You're
say?
a superhero, Nicholas. I'm on my way, and I'm bringing people if that's cool. And I'm like, as long as they're cool. As long as they're cool.
As long as they're
cool, yeah.
As long as they'll vibe.
As long as they're vibing. If they're vaping and not vibing, bro, dog. So hurry down, and we'll see you in a little bit. I said, are you, entity, whoever we're speaking with, we're still having a conversation with you. I know you didn't answer the second question, but are you friendly?
Yeah.
And that's what I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not a yes or yes sir.
It was just
Yeah. And then
That
I was like,
doesn't
all right,
give
cool,
me
that's great, that's great, that's great. So I said,
That doesn't give me confidence that they're nice at all. Just
yeah. And again, I have this all recorded.
Okay, perfect.
On the infrared camera. 4K,
we
whatever it
should
is.
somehow post that.
I said, can you please tell us your name? My name is Jeremy, and this is my friend Xander, and this is my friend Sean. And we got like garble, like kind of like a gargle, not like it's kind of like So I knew it was trying to communicate with us. And as the other people that are down there, they're doing their kind of their own thing. And I said, is there a way that I could get your name? And I got the same, but it sounded like Harry. It sounded like Harry, like it was still gargled and almost like it was coming in and out. And I'm like, Harry. So I said, is there anything you'd like to share with us? And we got no. And then all of a sudden, here comes Nicholas. Oh. Nicholas is coming down the little submarine stairs. And the two people that he brought with were non-believers right off the bat. And they're like, this isn't real. What's that thing doing? Why are you doing that? Well, tell me, how does this work? Well, that's just coincidence. And I'm like, no negativeness. So I go back to the entity and I'm like, hey, can we still communicate? Nothing. I'm asking several questions. I'm trying. Nothing. So I was like, this situation, this person, this spirit that we were speaking with was all verbs, all verbal, all communicating. I guess it really didn't care if we had equipment that he didn't mind it. But we got a name, we got a Harry. And then we got nothing or no when I asked if we wanted to further communicate. And then after that, we tried for like 30 minutes. It's 1 a.m. by this time and nothing. And the two gentlemen were just not having it. They're like, we don't believe, we do this and that and this. I think I kept asking them, do you guys go to Elevation Church? And they were like, what does that mean? And I was like, all right, well, we're done here. This is done here. I've got a treat for you guys. So we go to the Elmwood Cemetery, uptown Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's Sean Gacy, Xander. It's Nicholas and his two friends and myself. And it's just us. And I filmed a few music videos in this particular area that I'm taking them. And my great-grandfather, who's Irish, is buried in that cemetery.
Yeah.
So where I filmed the music video, I had a little team of filmmakers come, and they filmed it back about 10 years ago. And I have a top hat on, I have an umbrella, I have my teeth in, I've got white-out eyes, and I'm filming the end of this music video. And when he released it after editing, there's bats everywhere. Ooh. I had no idea. There's bats everywhere. So I'm familiar with this part because I've done photo shoots here, did like fashion show photo shoots, and salon photo shoots. So I know this area really, 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 really well. And as I'm filming and I'm talking about, what I'm telling you, we turned and I said, guys, this is not cool. This has never been here. And it was the biggest monument I'd ever seen. And when I approached, I realized it was a Confederate Civil War monument. Oh. And that has not been here. Like, why is it here?
Yeah.
And then when I realized because I've got my S-Box, I've got my camera, which has a U-hand or a U-grip. So my hands are full. I'm tied. I'm not really paying attention to where I'm standing.
Yeah.
I'm standing in a horseshoe pit or a horseshoe laid out tomb with unknown soldiers. So these little white monuments or these little white tombstones have no writing on them. It's just buried. So
oh my God.
This cemetery is from the 1800s.
Yeah.
I have not seen this thing.
Part,
I filmed right here by this oak tree. My great-grandfather's buried right there.
And you're like, what
hell is this?
Yeah.
Those two boys were as white as your shirt.
Yeah.
And they were silent. I could see beads of sweat. And they went to their car and they sat in the car. And I knew this
Yeah.
this Confederate thing's been here for years. I just wanted to give them a gas. And I was like, where are you guys from? They're like, the North. And I'm like, well, do you know anything about the Civil? Of course we do. And it's like, this is not real. This has not been here. And
You just completely.
shit out of
I was falling for it too. I was like, what is it? What is it?
It was 1 o'clock. The moon's out.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of drizzle in the sky, but those were tears coming from those little boys' eyes. I scared the flipping shit
Oh my
out of those
God.
kids.
I love
'Cause
scaring people sometimes.
They didn't scare the entity away, but I used that because I'm like, you know what?
They brought
you guys
negativity.
brought the negative vibes, and they were more worried about, I'm like, listen, I only have to tell you one time. We know the owner.
Yeah.
So anyway, we know that this house is haunted. We know the owner. We have permission to be down there. We know that these cameras up here are fake. They're like, but it has a red light. Well, we want to keep all the people that want to come down here and have,
They want them to think they're real.
They're real. That way they won't come down there.
Yeah,
And
you don't want
because there's-
squatters or
so you don't
anything.
want squatters. And once they realize
Squatters' rights.
Squatters' rights. That's it. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, after a tear fell, I didn't feel bad at all. But one of them, I saw a tear because they were frightened, and that Confederate monument's been there for since the beginning of
it
time.
was built.
But I think what they did was they like whitewashed it or painted it because the moon hit it so perfect because of the timing where the moon was. The moon hit it so perfect that it was just white, like it was brand new. And I think that's why. And that just came to me. I wasn't going to do that. Like,
Yeah, you were just like, you saw it and you were like, ooh.
Oh, this is perfect. And, the cemetery is the last place you want to take ghost hunting equipment because that's not where they hang out. They hang out in places that are, inhabited.
Unless if you're the little girl in the barrel.
Well, the little
from
girl
my
in the barrel
barrel
is
story.
different because that's its own little scenario.
That really is.
That was I've never heard anything like that before. And that's really cool. She's buried in the barrel. That's so cool.
I'm guessing she died like on the way over or something, and so they put her in a barrel and put her overboard to get rid of the dead bodies.
That's crazy.
And she
That's
washed
wild.
up on shore, and they buried her in the barrel.
Buried it in the
Buried
barrel.
in the
Just
barrel.
like a good whiskey.
Buried in
Buried
the
in the
barrel.
barrel. All right, guys, thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate the feedback. If you have any questions for us, please reach us at revivalhorrorpodcast@gmail.com.
We're doing great.
It's my first day on Earth, and I'm 1,047 years old. So, yeah, reach us through our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok, King Jeremy the Wicked. You can see that we love everything horror, and we love you.
Yes.
Creepies, you're our creepies, and we're going to have merch.
Our wackos, our weirdos.
Kooks, our wackos, our crispies. I know you liked that last week. You didn't like that last week. But
I didn't like the Krispies. Our Krispies.
I love our hamburger rating that we did
Yes.
earlier. That's so cool. And again, we are Revival Horror Podcast. We're going to have merch soon. Didn't tell you that. We're going to have merch soon and
I'm
some
excited.
decals. It's going to be awesome.
Can't wait.
This is Creepy Connie.
And this is King Jeremy the Wicked.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Revival, a horror podcast. Sorry. King Jeremy the Wicked and Creepy Connie. Goodbye.